Hassan Rouhani, who is, of course, the president of Iran and a Shia Muslim, criticized Donald Trump for his proposed ban on all Muslims entering America. He said, quote, "Under the pretext of fighting terrorism, some people are proposing that Muslims should not be permitted to enter other countries. We regret such remarks about Muslims. This is while they themselves are among the sponsors and supporters of terrorism, and they are supporting terrorists." That last part there, he's speaking about America. So what's he referring to? He's talking about Syria. And he's kind of right. Now understand, Hassan Rouhani is not Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who was a dunce and a far right-winger and a crazy person. And he was just stupid. Hassan Rouhani is the reformer. He's a moderate. Now, he's a cleric, but he was the most moderate of all the choices in the Iranian election. And it's not just like, oh, I'm just saying he's moderate. No, he actually is a moderate. Okay, and he was one of the people that was instrumental in getting the deal between the U.S. and Iran, the nuclear deal. And apparently behind the scenes, he worked hard to get this done because the Ayatollah is a prick, and a lot of people behind the scenes in Iran, unsurprisingly, are conservative. So he's not a horrible dude, man. And remember, the government of Iran, for all their flaws, and they have many, they're currently fighting ISIS. So, at least in that sense, they should be an ally to the U.S. And let's not forget that, you know, compared to Saudi Arabia, Iran looks like a fucking positively flourishing Western secular democracy. So let's also keep that in mind. How funny it is that, you know, in the U.S. we're like, oh my God, the Muslims are so bad. Well, then why are you aligned with the worst of the worst in terms of you're aligned with the Wahhabi state, which is the most right-wing fundamentalist version of Islam? Again, Iran is a theocracy, but the Shia have an interesting philosophy where they kind of cheated a little bit here and there. Well, we're not sure when the next imam is going to come back, so what we're going to do is we're not going to try to implement Islamic law until that imam comes back, so now we get to live more secular. That's what a lot of Shias believe. Now, again, the regime in Iran they're a hardline regime, so it's a little different, and they are more conservative. But still, all things considered, they're not nearly as conservative as Saudi Arabia, and they're fighting ISIS. So he's referring to Syria, and what he's talking about is the fact that we are backing rebels in Syria who are fighting Assad. Now, Assad is an Alawite. It's a Shia offshoot. But Assad runs what is a secular socialist government in Syria. Now, he's got many problems, and he's done many fucked up things, no doubt about that. We've spoken about that on the show before. But the U.S. backing the rebels, what people don't understand is that all the so-called moderate rebels are gonzo. Okay, a lot of them fled to Turkey, a lot of them fled to Europe, and there's like 8 remaining FSA, Free Syrian Army dudes, those are supposedly the moderate ones. And then who are the biggest force fighting in there? Jihadists and Islamists. So you have Al-Nusra Front, which is the Al-Qaeda offshoot, the affiliate in Syria. And you have ISIS in Syria, fighting the Assad regime. So when he says, you know, oh, it's ironic that you have somebody like Donald Trump ban all Muslims, but meanwhile the government of the U.S. is like, anyway, can we go give arms to more Islamists and possibly jihadists in Syria to topple Assad because we don't like Assad, because Assad is backed by Russia, who we really don't like, and Iran? He ain't wrong, dude. He ain't wrong. Now, I've said, I got, you know, what's the saying? No dog in that race, no dog in that fight. Whatever, no horse in that race, whatever. You know what I'm saying, in Syria, so I would stay out. You know, the official government position in the U.S. is we hate both sides, which is why we're involved in attacking both sides and arming some people on the rebel side. It just gets weird, man. You know, there's no good outcome here, so let's get involved. What the fuck? No, I thought you don't like either side, so what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. But that's the point. The point is, it's hilarious that somebody like Donald Trump is like, keep out all Muslims. All Muslims are bad. And then the U.S. government official policy is, let's arm some Islamist rebels to fight Assad, and also, let's be buddy-buddy with Saudi Arabia and get the oil cum shot on our face. Get the money shot on our face. Oh, yeah, we love your oil. Did you behead people for sorcery and apostasy today? Did you behead people for adultery like you do all the time? Over 150 people beheaded or killed in Saudi Arabia. Just this year, death sentence for all types of stupid shit, drug smuggling, sorcery, witchcraft. So we're like, yeah, we hate Muslims, unless it's the people who believe in Wahhabism, which is the worst strain of Islam, then we love you. So is Hassan Rouhani wrong to point this out, to point out this hypocrisy? No, he's 100% right. I get it, everybody gets it. It is funny that, you have somebody who's involved in a horrific government. Iran is a theocracy, and I'm not giving them a pass on their human rights abuses, and there are many. So there's that level of hypocrisy on his side, at least. But he's right in the hypocrisy he's pointing out in the U.S., that it makes no sense to ban all Muslims like Trump did, and then meanwhile the establishment gleefully supports Salafists all around the world.